What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
You got that proud face on, like you proud that I didn't touch any, like I didn't touch any
Oh,
buttons,
I was like, what's the proud face?
like I didn't mess up this week.
Oh, no, you didn't. Good for you.
Uh, how
All of
wait
that, but
wait
that wasn't that. I was just
how do I
trying to be
sound? How do
ready.
how do I sound?
You sound handsome.
Oh, y'all.
Yes, you did.
when you know somebody for as long as we've known each other, I troll Dre all the time. So we
He
do a
never
sound.
gets tired.
it, it never
Never
gets
gets
old.
never gets tired.
So I'm just
One
over
of
here.
them.
I'm just over here sounding handsome. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Doing what you do.
She
Doing what you
gives wait no, she gives such best friend responses. So she didn't come up with that. I'm during sound check. I tell her she's checking her headphones, and I say, do I sound handsome? So instead of saying yeah, she goes, you sound like you always sound like, like, and I'm like, is it always handsome
Good question.
or what? I don't know what you're saying right now.
Oh Lord,
Like
that's funny.
it's like nothing's changed. Like you've always been who you are. you you've always looked how you look. What you mean?
Sounds so awful, but yeah, I
No,
guess that is
you just have a way of saying everything and nothing at the same time. You have mastered that art. I think I've done pretty well. Somebody be like, how I look today? I be like, all right,
you know you,
okay.
you,
You look
you you doing you
I
doing
see you looking how you looking.
something. Hmm.
We gonna have to get the roadies and the road dogs to give us some proper responses to certain
Right,
things. That's my new
right.
thing. I look cuteness. I see you. You looking how you looking? All right. It's all in the face though. You got.
Yeah,
I
gotta
see
give
you.
them some assurance
Yeah.
without too
This
much.
is such this is such a black response though. I see you. Like imagine going to the cookout, you bring somebody to the cookout and you ask somebody, yeah, so what you think? All right, I
Hmm.
see, I see you. They were
Hilarious.
like, oh, okay. Why you didn't say? I said I see you. You know what you want me to do? How's
Hilarious.
how's your week been?
It's only Tuesday. I wish it was Friday.
Look, listen.
I'm
I,
just I am wrestling with all the hats.
mm,
And I never wrestle with all the hats.
well,
I just swap the hats as
yeah.
they need to be swapped. But I am in this current, I don't know if it's a season, if it's today, if it's just the past few weeks, I am wrestling with the hats. So,
Well, let me just say, I've never seen anybody wear hats the way you wear them.
I see you.
I see. You be wearing them
Wearing
hats.
all those hats.
You be wearing them hats. I'm just saying.
Oh, God
I
bless
I
you.
wish I could say how my week has been going, but I can't. I mean, I'll tell you off air, but
Oh, I was like, did an NDA involved?
yeah, kind of, sort of. Just been
Oh,
it's
okay.
been with, like work stuff. And I can't
Yeah.
divulge what's been happening.
I feel you. Yeah, that'll do it.
Uh,
That'll do it.
it's crazy. But you know what? But I do have a testimony from it. Did you see me just miss
Okay.
my entire glass? I was trying to push
I
them up.
didn't. I was I happened to look down for a hot second and
Right.
yeah.
I completely missed. So okay. So yesterday on the way to work, I blew a tire on the freeway, right? Or should I say the tollway?
Mm-hmm.
And um, what the way it played out was how God looks out for us in our life when we don't even know it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting on the tollway, and as soon as I get on, like I have my music going or whatever, and then I just feel back at the 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 back. You know that's
Mm.
and I'm like, ah shit, I done blew a tire, right? So I get out, I check the tire out. I'm on my way to work, so I'm like, you know what? I'm finna just call roadside assistance because I don't want to be out here sweating and everything else in this humid Houston air changing a tire right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I go in the app, I request roadside assistance. They send me a text saying like it's gonna be an hour to an hour and a half. I'm not sitting on the side of the freeway for no hour and a half because the last
Yeah.
time I did this, out here they'll send tow trucks and like they won't let you wait. Like they'll tow you off of the road or the freeway or whatever, and you have to pay for that, right? Um, so it's a crazy business. Like they send out dispatch and like 7, 8 tow trucks be behind you and like flipping coins on who's gonna get the job, who's gonna get that tow
Mm.
or whatever. Anyway, a constable, a cop. Out here we have several layers of police, but this one was a constable. Pulls up behind me after, I'm on the side. I'm in a wife beater now. I'm trunk popped open. I'm getting ready to change this tire. And so he was like, well, because you're on the tollway, they'll change your tire for free.
Mm.
And I was like, he's like, I'll put the call in, a truck will come and change your tire for free. So I was like, bet. He was like, but I need you to pull off the side of the road up under the bridge so it's safe, so you're somewhere safe. Because I was right when they're getting on. So he gets behind me and I'm back at the back at the back at the back at the back.
The sound effect. Yeah.
Right. And so as soon as I get under the bridge, I put it in park and the sky just opened up, pouring down rain,
Mm.
pouring down rain. I was like, wow. And so maybe 5 minutes later, the tow truck pulls up. Dude was like, you can stay in the car while I do this because he got the like you in the pit stop in the
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR race, hooks it up, sends me on my way. But it's like when it's like God's perfect timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows what's about to happen. He knows how you're gonna respond, and then knows it's like, son, I appreciate you about to do this yourself because I was about to call in for help and sit there and wait, right?
Yeah.
And then when I decided, nah, I'm not gonna wait, let me do this myself. He's like, no,
No.
wait for me,
Mm-hmm.
wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me guide you through this, right? And so as
Yeah.
soon as I was like, all right, that I'm gonna wait, and he moved me to safety, then I saw the danger. And so I think like in our life, when you listen and you're obedient, the danger is never if you trust God, the danger is not revealed until after you've already been brought to safety.
Mm.
When you listen, right? Because
Right.
sometimes it's like, nah, I'm gonna do it my way. That's me taking off the shirt and the beater, blah, 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 blah. I'm about to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. Let me do this. All
Right.
right, you know, go to safety, wait for me. I got you. And then you'll see
Mm-hmm.
what he meant. You know what I mean? So um y'all, I just say that to say, like, put it in God's hands, and whatever He's telling you to
Absolutely.
do, whatever that looks like. Sometimes it's not, you got to go to work. Sometimes it's lay back and chill, you know what I'm saying? But just learn to listen. And what He has, the plan will be revealed, right? Or the process will be revealed, and you'll see why the minute that you become obedient to what He's saying. So that's just
Absolutely.
on my heart to share.
Well, thank you
Um,
for sharing with us. I
if
absolutely agree. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. Which is why even in this time,
Hmm.
I'm just smiling on through it
You
because I
know.
know I have instructions and I'm like this, but
Hmm. Just wear the
just do
hats.
what it is. Yeah. Do what
Just
it
wear the
is
hats,
that
and
you're
it's gonna.
supposed to do.
And
Absolutely.
and while we're wearing the hats, if y'all would like to help us purchase more hats, you can donate to the
Or
Crossroads
you
by
want to
going to our Bitly.
put money in the hat.
But
How
put
about
some
that?
money, yeah, put some money in the hat by going to our Bitly, and you can donate. you know, So, right with
I
our other
like that
sponsors.
way.
So,
Yeah.
y'all, as always, the Crossroads podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
For all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseo334.com. It is black owned, it is woman owned, it is black woman owned, and it is amazing. And make sure you move quick because the house will fill up fast. The Crossroads is also brought to you by the Crossroads. Y'all can go to our bit.ly, that's bit.ly/THEXROSSROADZ. For everything that we're doing, all of our social media and upcoming things. And make sure y'all scroll down and subscribe right now. Y'all, we are so close to hitting our goal. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Share this with someone else to subscribe. We are what? I think 70 subscribers away from our goal. Something like that.
Well, closer to 80.
Closer to 80. So we're
Yeah.
80, we're
Hmm.
80 subscribers away from our goal, and we can hit that with your help. So also, we were just talking about putting money in the hat. If you want to donate, we appreciate everyone who continues to donate to this show. Y'all, this is a labor of love, but love ain't free. And if you think it is, go tell your landlord that you love them. So you can go to our bit.ly and click the link to donate to the show to keep this good content coming to y'all. We've been doing this for over 3 years, 3 years strong now coming up, y'all. And I
Hmm.
mean, with a slight break, but it is what it is. It happens. We had to regroup, recoup so we can come back strong. Um, and I'm thinking of doing another raffle for new subscribers. So I might throw some money in the hat myself for new subscribers. A raffle. It could look like what, three prizes. Maybe
Hmm.
two for 25 and one for $50. If
Okay.
when we hit the goal and all the new subscribers will be in the hat. What you think?
I like it. I like it. I
You
like
like
it.
it? Yeah.
We absolutely want to hit this goal. Saturday, as we discovered, was International Podcast Day. And we want to celebrate by hitting our goal 500 subscribers. It's not a huge number, but it will make a difference and help
Mhm.
us to monetize the channel. And so your donations will just be extra cherry on top at that point. We want YouTube's money. So help us to get
Mhm.
YouTube's money. If you think that this podcast is worthwhile, which we believe you do by coming
Cause y'all
here
keep
each and
coming.
every week, yeah, please share with someone else. It really warms our hearts when you send us texts and you're like, hey, I'm watching this episode, or that episode was great. And we want it to be even more warm by you sharing with someone else. Take
Mhm.
the link, like literally take the link to the podcast and send it to someone and let them know to subscribe right now, like while we're talking, because we're going to set up some stories next. That's something that everybody can do, is hit the share button on this particular episode, drop it in somebody's DMs, drop it in a text and say, hey, join me on this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, help me to help them to hit this goal. And what we really want to do, money is great. And I know you are excited about the possibility to earn some cash, but we also want to drop the season 2 dates for you. And I hate to hold that
Yeah, well, you
a
know what?
ransom,
You know
but
what?
I'm going to hold it
We
until
go we hold season 2 hostage until we hit our goal. That's what we finna do. Y'all can
yeah.
get the lies. We're gonna do the lies, but season 2,
Mm-hmm.
nope.
You
Mm-mm.
can't have season 2.
That's
It's
the cost. The
mm-mm.
cost is subscribership.
And it's some new stuff in season 2.
And if people ask questions, just say, "Hey, Barzini sound handsome."
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Tell
So if
them.
you're in the chat right now, let us know if you're going to participate in our, drive for 5. Okay. We try to get to that 500.
Hey, drive for 5. The
Drive for
irony,
5.
I'm sitting here talking about sounding handsome and my voice is my channel is Barzini Speaks. I do a podcast and everything else, and my voice is probably the least favorite thing about myself.
Oh,
I
well,
mean, I
that
got
your voice
bars.
isn't for you. It's not
It's
for
not,
you.
it's
It's for
not. I
others.
mean, I got bars and all, but I didn't get the deep, sultry, velvety voice.
Hmm.
Yeah, you've now tuned into the Crossroads. And I don't even know if that sounds right.
Have mercy.
you
Have
know,
mercy.
Daddy didn't give me his voice.
That's all right. You have
That's
your
not.
own.
I have, yeah. My let my brother talk tell me. He been saying he said I sound like Mickey Mouse, like the old school.
Oh,
No, he actually
no,
it's
it
not
doesn't.
that. You know who he tells me I sound like, especially when I get mad. Like
Who?
my brother is impossible to be mad at because he's always gonna say something stupid, right?
Crack a joke.
Oh, it's always a joke. So every time I get mad and I start yelling and screaming, you
Uh-oh.
remember the chicken hawk?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'll be up like, leave me alone. And he'll be like, I'm a chicken hawk and I eat chickens. And then it just pisses me off even more because I'm
Jeez.
just a little with the squeaky voice and I couldn't
Shout
beat
out
him
to
up anyway.
brothers.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll whoop his ass now.
Mm.
And you can quote me on that.
I ain't getting in it.
And I hope he watching the show
Because
tonight.
I was like, I ain't getting in it.
Yeah, he'll that'll get him to comment. Bet money if
Yeah,
he's
speaking of
watching, he's
comments,
going.
it's quiet. It's
Yeah,
quiet.
y'all
Ain't
dry
nobody
tonight.
even said, hey. If we start talking about subscribers, they was like,
Oh, they like church finger, and then the analytics gonna be like we had a couple of hundred people watching.
mm-hmm.
See, that's what y'all do.
Okay.
Look. Listen, we ain't finna be a sneaky link podcast because that's what I feel like. Y'all like
A sneaky link podcast.
don't be trying to
You
watch us
love
on
us
the
on the
low.
side.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
be loud and proud about your love for the
Like,
crossroads.
right now, speaking of sneaky link,
Uh-oh.
we just gonna bring this first segment in.
Oh, we're going straight to us.
We're going straight to a segment. Speaking of
Oh,
sneaky links, so y'all, this first one, um, news has broke that Remy Ma has allegedly, let me repeat, allegedly,
because we don't want no smoke.
been cheating on Papoose with battle rapper Easy the Black Captain, and they're allegedly supposed to be heading for divorce after many years of marriage.
Mm.
So, and I know a lot of people in the reality TV community are not happy about this. And I think this is the first time we've seen a breakup where they people not happy with her.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem to be his fault.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to go on record and say that I hope this is not true. And if it's not, then it's even worse that like
Mhm.
this kind of stuff gets out and takes on a life of its own, and people are choosing sides and it's slander here, there, and everywhere. But like Remy Ma and Papoose in, hip hop, if you will, have been like goals for people. And not, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I think for some people, they have been goals.
Mhm.
Their relationship and situation is not ideal, but in terms of, how he has loved her and the way that it looked like she loved him, I think people, looked at that like, oh, it's so
Mhm.
great. Now, underneath all that, it's been messy, right? Like they spent the majority of their marriage apart because, Remy was in jail for a long time.
Mhm.
But during that time, they're both on record saying that, Pap would visit her every
Every
day,
day.
every
Yo,
day.
every, every day.
And jail wasn't like down the street. It was like an hour drive there and an hour drive back.
Every day.
And then, would take the children when he could, would take her mom or, any of the relatives, but he himself there every day.
Every day.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say on behalf of Pap, if any part of this is true, she needs to be chokeslammed. And I don't think
Ladies, yeah.
anybody,
Ladies, how many of y'all men done visited y'all in jail?
I
Hmm?
mean, I not going
Look,
to jail, but
some of y'all dudes don't even visit y'all at work. So
some of them don't talk to you when they get home. Like it's just even the convenient thing they don't do.
Mhm.
So that is hecka inconvenient to do. But it was just like this is what I knew she needed to be able to get through this. And I wasn't gonna let her do that time by herself or not have me to look forward to or to lose her relationship, you know, with her son and then the family that they were building.
Yeah, he did
And
that job
so
with her essentially.
yeah, remarkable. I
Listen, baby,
You can't find
I'll
many
see you.
people that would
I'll
be
see
like,
you on
I'll do it.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Right.
I'll send you the link to the show, and you
You
know,
can listen to me, see my face. I'll
right,
send you a shout out, like
right.
little Joker and them. Uh, Shout out to baby Joker.
Baby Joker, like, look, hey,
Mm-mm.
shout out to Papoose.
But like, that's crazy because I try to hold it down for the ladies, but when stuff
And
like this happens,
yeah,
I'm sis.
and yeah, because
25 a 25-year-old battle rapper.
and not even the best battle rapper, just
That was
hey, bro. It
yeah,
ain't like Charlie Clipser or somebody like a
a
battle
25
rapper.
year old
25.
battle rapper,
That
allegedly.
that probably ain't better than Papoose.
I'm willing to bet he is not. I'm willing to bet he's not.
Hey, but you
But even
know,
if he was, like, this is your husband. What else does a person have to do to really show their commitment and their loyalty? Like, bro can't do anything else. Like,
and
he's
not
done.
and not only that, I think one of the worst parts was uh dude, the battle rapper was in a battle and another cat outed the relationship
Mhm.
during the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like pointed out that Papoose wasn't there, like why he not here? You know what I'm saying?
Just
Just
yeah.
like and that's and you know what the thing with battle rap, I couldn't be a battle rapper, number one. Not because of the lack of bars, but um I just think so many cats go below the belt and like battle rap is just anything goes, you know.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
bring in
There's
your
no
family,
boundaries.
they your kids, your dad pops, something locked up, like such and such snitch. That I mean, they pulling up court records, like it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And people got to go back to real life after this, and this and you can it could be somebody you cool with, but they trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's nothing like somebody close to you. So think about you got to battle somebody you cool with, and then they say some not cool
And
shit.
they know where all the bodies are buried.
They
Oh
know where the
Lord.
bodies are buried, and they gonna
Yeah.
dig them up, and you got to be ready for that. And then you don't know what they gonna say, so you got to load your gun, and then you
Mm.
probably end up saying something that is over the line, and they wasn't even going there. So now you look like it's like, you know,
Yeah.
I couldn't, and I'm really not gonna stand there and listen to somebody do it. So
Yeah. I
I've
hope
seen it.
this is all just battle rap stuff and not necessarily a true story. I haven't seen anything yet. All the links that are getting posted, like, oh, Remy's confirming a split, seems to confirm a split. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
anything
the
that
clickbait.
has confirmed anything. So right now, this is all social media folly, but it's just awful to think about. I mean, we've been talking about various relationships week after
Mhm.
week, that seem to have be biting the dust. So I hope that they're not
Right.
next, and
Yeah.
definitely not in this way. That's just
Yeah.
horrible to even
And
think
just
about.
having a public marriage or relationship has to be hard because the nature of social media is not rooted in any type of truth, or substantiated uh, correspondence, let's say, because anybody can concoct a story and post it, and as soon as it's shared once, it grows legs, right?
Yep.
Because people don't fact check anything really until after it's grown, right? So I saw something. I forgot who the little girl was. Some little girl from the little girl from Are We There Yet? Right? It was like,
Mm,
oh, you want to see what she looked like now? And then they posted this chick with this big old booty now, and blah 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 blah. Like this is her all grown up. And some
mm.
people was like, y'all, simple Google search will show you that's not her. You know what I'm saying? Like, but people don't do that. They would much rather like we don't. It's not like you read the newspaper anymore, or even newspapers are, whatever. But we rely heavily on social media for the news. You
Right.
know, because somebody will post a link to the news outlet, but they're getting less and less reputable, and credible. And like
Sure.
y'all, we live in an age where TMZ is probably the most sought after news source for for pop culture at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the sites people check first. It's TMZ, and it's a
That's
whole
true.
ass. It's a tabloid.
Yep. But
you
it's
know,
like TMZ got it.
right? But it's so genius on their part. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no journalistic integrity. They don't need it because they're a tabloid. So it's like we're
Mm-hmm.
just gonna say it, and if we're right,
Cool.
go us. But if we're but if we're wrong, hey, we're a tabloid. Like,
Right.
you
You
know what I
didn't really
mean?
believe us, did you?
Yeah. But it all started with Michael Jackson when they broke the Michael Jackson story,
Yeah.
and they broke the Kobe Bryant story, which was foul. You know,
Yeah.
because that's how Vanessa ended up finding out. But like, yeah. So we, with y'all with your relationships, just I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I just know stuff like this is why mine is private. Not that the world is going to be like, oh, Barzini broke up with his girl yet. But,
Hey,
y'all
we're
will
gonna be
care one
celebrating when you get together.
day. Listen, when I get in a relationship, it's going to be so private, you know.
You better share it with us.
Look, your husband is a whole hashtag. We still,
But you know I have one. Shoot. Yeah. You
yeah,
know I have
he a
one.
hashtag in the shadow.
Those who know, you know I have one.
She has one. I was there when it
Yeah.
happened. But yeah, I can't imagine how that must feel, you know, to have your marriage on display all the time. So yeah, shout out to Remy and Pat. We hope that you're at the crib uh soaking in the publicity and maybe about to drop something, because you know how that goes too.
Right. Laughing
Because
this off and not
right, because Kiki
being
Palmer
affected by it.
milked. What if? And I'm gonna just throw this out there. I'm gonna say this first, because if it happens, I know they got it from me.
Mm.
Because Kiki Palmer milked her 5 minutes of fame. What if she comes out at the Super Bowl show?
I'm sure something is gonna be involved, or quick a pan to her right in the front row, or so something crazy is gonna happen.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if she's big enough for that. He's like, look, hey, I gave you a video, chill. This is the Super Bowl. I ain't finna waste my Super Bowl halftime
I hope
on you and
not.
your boo. But
I
if it
hope
did,
not.
if it did happen, I'd be like, oh, okay. I mean, that's good. It's great for her, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, hopefully not. So
Hopefully not.
hopefully not. But we gonna get back to messy relationships in a second. But this is also messy. So y'all, we got our first taste of defeat this past weekend.
And I don't have my
Um,
glasses. I'm
I know.
slipping.
I got mine on. Don't worry about it. They're not shades though.
Okay.
I actually have to
Yeah,
see.
my shades.
So Coach Prime and the Buffs got their first L. Um,
Yeah.
and sadly Dre is praying for their two consecutive L's, you know.
You make it
And
sound
it's
so bad.
hold up,
I
and is
am
not
on record.
conflicted. Listen, and she is not conflicted about it. There is
No.
zero hurt or angst about it. There are no equivocations. Prime must lose next week. She back on the bandwagon the week after, but next
There you
week
go. It's
she's
fight
out.
on. I was for them this past weekend,
Yeah,
and they barely got out the blocks. Like I think they got pushed out the blocks at the end because
yeah,
I was like, I know they're gonna put some points on the board. So I gave them what I could give them. Next week, I
yeah.
can't give it
So
to them. And I said that last week,
she
and
did.
anybody
So
who knows how it goes and why it goes, and
yeah,
that's that.
she is a proud alumni of the University of Southern California, also known
Fight
as the
on.
University of Spoiled Children,
Okay, I won't take y'all there. I don't want
also the University of South Central. That's what
to.
it really is, y'all.
Okay.
It's so crazy to have this
Dollars and
beautiful
cents.
campus,
How about
this
that?
yeah, this beautiful campus, dab smack, like soon as you walk out on Jefferson or on, you're like,
Not
wait,
anymore, because SC has bought up
oh, they bought
the
up the
blocks
surrounding area.
around. So yeah, you got to go a little further
You got
out.
to go a little further out. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So Vernon, Jefferson, all them
Vermont.
Vermont. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I haven't been
If you
home this
gonna
week.
clown, you can at least get
I'm
you a
not
map.
even clowning. I was always up there. I'm damn
I'm
near an
just
alum
saying.
myself.
I
I should have took some
Team
classes.
Trojans. Uh, you know, yes, and so also, of course, the Trojans played this past Saturday, and they were not hot in the beginning. I was just like, oh,
That defense struggle. I'll say this. I think we may have a game on our hands.
and that's really all we want. I don't want to see either of those games repeated on Saturday. The games I
Mhm.
watched on this past Saturday, please don't do
Why is
that.
it plural? What you mean the games? What other game you
I
talking about?
watched the Colorado game and I watched the SC game, and I didn't like either
Oh,
one of them.
oh yeah, yeah. You know,
So I'm
I was
saying when
half
they
watching.
meet, I would like it to be an actual
Mhm.
game.
But with that, the hate that Coach Prime seems to garner. So there, and this is funny because I don't even remember homie's name either, right? So the Oregon coach,
Mm-hmm.
he's in there, and he hit a one liner talking about they're playing for clicks, we're playing for wins, right? And so he said to send
It's
over the
so
story's over.
unnecessary.
But here's the question. Here's the thing though. You saying that for clicks.
Exactly. That's all. Just like this.
That's the crazy part. And here's what the part like y'all, all these coaches that want to hate on Prime. Ain't nobody watching Oregon. Oregon is good, but ain't nobody like, yeah,
Right.
I got to rush home and see the Oregon game. This is the
Right.
first game I've seen of Oregon this year, and it'll probably be the last unless they make it to the playoff,
That
right?
is very true. That's very true.
But
My mom called, was like, I went to water aerobics and the grocery stores. I can get back and watch Coach. She
right,
up Saturday morning trying to
yeah,
run all her errands.
so she
And
can
we
watch
did the
the
same.
game.
We went to my niece had a swim meet at like 9 o'clock. And then
Mhm.
we ran to Costco and the Verizon store and was back by
Right,
12:30.
but here's the prime effect, and this is the crazy part, and this is what these other institutions aren't realizing. He's not only selling out in Boulder, he's selling out other people's stadiums.
Everywhere.
When they
Yeah.
everywhere they go, it's sold out. So did you see how packed their stadium was?
It was, I
Right,
was like, Jesus. Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? But people say, I don't know why we have to be cruel when it comes to sports, right? So like there's holding up signs, oh, my coach has 10 toes.
I did see that after the game. Somebody sent
Yeah. And the
a shot
crazy
of that. And I
part
was just
is
like, wow.
because like they think it's funny, but you're ignoring everything that he's gone through. Like he almost lost his leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The surgeries, the recovery, like he was fighting for his life and y'all use that as a joke. You know what I'm saying? To take a shot at him. And in true Prime fashion, he always owns the moment and changes the narrative, right? So one, he took the loss gratefully, you know. True, and we're gonna get into that too, D Will. Um, it's his he took the loss and he was like, yeah, that was a good old fashioned butt kicking. We didn't play well, we
Right.
didn't coach well. Like, he didn't make any excuses, right? And then they asked him about the comment. He was like, they can take shots. They won the game, you know. But then he was like, but I'm gonna go on record and say this: if you're gonna beat, you better beat me now, because it's the worst we gonna be, you know.
Let them know.
And so, because this is the part they're forgetting, and I think this is what they're scared of. They have to recruit against him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's put together a good team in his first year with 86 new players and over 50 new scholarships. This is a brand new team that he put together, and they're already competing, right?
Sheesh.
So imagine what he's going to do, not only in recruitment but also in the transfer portal. Once they get some size on that D line and that O line and protect Shador, listen, and they got to shore up that secondary because they be getting ate up. But once they can put some pressure on these quarterbacks and get some protection, it's gonna be lights out for a
And
lot
it's
of people,
over.
and for a while. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Prime doesn't talk about anybody, but he'll talk about himself. They're talking about, like, why are you hating because he's bringing attention to the university? You know what I mean? Their enrollment is about to be crazy. Like, people are going to be lining up to get into that school. Athletes going to be lining up to play. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's turned it around everywhere he's gone. But now I saw that tweet that you like the tweet that you sent me, talking about Oregon. This win for Oregon. He stands for all of us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is Prime out here doing to people? What do you mean stand? Like, y'all protesting against him. What has he done to y'all?
He's black. And
You know
he's
what I'm saying?
and they think he's cocky. They think, he needs to be in his place. And I'm just like, you don't remember this man? Like, he's very much in his place.
This is his place. Act like you met
Like,
him before.
is
But
he Newton?
also, like, I think, and people, one, and not just with Prime, but when people in general, we're so quick to judge and we're so quick to point fingers and tell people how they're supposed to act without knowing their story, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when he told his story about he had to create this man and this persona because he didn't have anybody there for him when he played high school ball, right? His mama had to work, his daddy wasn't there, his stepdaddy wasn't there, so nobody came to see him play until he got to Florida State when he played on Saturdays, and mom could
Mm-hmm.
drive down the street. But he's like, I had to create this guy, to keep my confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, so I don't need you now. He's like, I built me. So you was like, you didn't make me, so you can't break me. Like, he's unapologetic about who he is, and it's made him what he is. Nobody talked about defensive backs until Prime. Like, nobody cared about corners. Like, corners were probably the least talked about position. On defense, it was about linebackers and safeties. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a corner, really, a lockdown corner, and then became arguably, not even arguably, the greatest corner ever.
The greatest. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And when he was playing, he put on a show. He out there high stepping, and you couldn't do nothing with him. He would tell you what he's going to do, and then he goes out there and does it. He's been doing it his whole career.
Okay.
His whole
That's it.
career. Then went to the Hall of Fame. Like, what can you tell this man? I got Super Bowl rings. I got a gold jacket. I'm in the Hall of Fame, right? I
Mm-hmm.
went to the SWAC. I won a championship there. I left. I rebuilt this program, and I'm filling up like come on. And
Yeah.
so we're making it about him being black, white and black people alike, right? So you have some black people like, why are we only supporting Prime? There's other black coaches out there. There's been black coaches, but none of them are him, right?
Right.
We're not following him because he is black. Him being black is a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
We're following him because he's black and he's Prime. Well, no, he's
He's
Prime and he's black.
prime and he's black. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, I appreciate a black coach being successful and I want to see it, but we're following Prime because he's Prime and what he's
Yeah.
actually doing for black people, right? We're following him not because he's what he's doing at Colorado. We're following him for what he did at Jackson State. You see what I'm saying? And now
Yeah.
he's changing. I was about to say he's changing the landscape. Like he's shaking up the recruiting landscape in college football. These white coaches are afraid they're going to lose, and they're going to. Not only it's not just the Pac-12, right?
Right.
The SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, like they all are going to have to compete
Everybody.
recruiting.
Yeah. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And so they see not right now while they're winning, but they see how he coaches. He gets people to buy in, and not even buy in, to believe. He said that.
Yeah.
It's not buying, it's belief. Shit, I want to go back and play for prom. And I didn't even play football. I just want to
I
suit
don't
up.
want to play for him, but I want to get on the social media and that I want to get involved like
No.
Deion Jr.
And
My rich
don't be
girl.
mad because your family ain't a well-oiled machine like his,
And they are that. I'm like, wow.
Mm,
You can definitely see it in the kids.
yeah.
And they're all working together and it is working. Like even I think the best part, if we could call it good, because of course they want to win. They are a family that wants to win. They believe in excellence. But even in defeat, like you said, it wasn't like, we're gonna hang our heads, we're gonna make excuses. It was just like, yeah, this is what happened. However, like, no, it's not taking us down a notch. It's not putting us in our place. Like, we are still confident. We go out every week with the belief, but also with the work ethic. Like, we've been working and we believe that we're supposed to be here. We believe that we're going to win. And so, it didn't pan out today, but that doesn't mean like, oh, the rest of our season is trash or we're defeated before we come back out. Like they are still standing on the square. Like this is what it is. Yeah. And again, and we said this last week, like this is a team that went 1-11.
Right.
Honestly, they don't have to do anything else. They're going to. I believe that, that they will. But even if they don't, they've already done more than anybody anticipated that they would do. So absolutely, that's the point. Like
they're playing with house money.
It's already been done.
You don't have to stop saying everything that I'm saying. Like, no, it's house money from here, but also they're going to get better. They're going to learn. And they're having fun doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to win. So like
that's the part. They look like they are having a good time. Like the kids are having a good time. The fans are having a good time. I put it in one of your posts, like, so for the sorority, I'm over regional membership. And we're already getting like, hey, can y'all come down to this campus? I'm like, it's not even about just football. Like clearly the girls are going to these schools too. Yeah. And are, connecting or want to bring Black culture into these spaces.
Experience. Yeah. And I'm not mad at it because it's also giving Black people access to institutions with better resources, and everything else. So this isn't like just about HBCUs. What we want to see HBCUs thrive and get resources and have money, in the alumni, but also for Black people to have access to quality education and a quality college experience, period. You see what I'm saying? And so if we can provide that, it's like we haven't seen a college phenomenon like this since A Different World, right? And so what a TV show did for enrollment, now we're adding that element into sports and culture. Like, listen, if they change the band around,
got the little majorettes out there shaking.
Right. You get some dancing dolls, go recruit you. But think about that synergy. Like if he's able to do that, like get with the band director and change it into a show band. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have Shiloh out there with the drum majors like he was at Jackson.
Yeah. We got to get our tickets early for it.
Them tickets go. So next season, let's look into that. Next season, we're gonna try to, the cross and we'll report live from the game.
Crossroads from the game. Yes.
We got to get on location. Well, maybe we can blow up enough to get. If we can get to some 500 subscribers first.
Speaking of which, go right now.
Down. If y'all still watching, do me a favor. copy the link, post it on your page, post it on your pages, and tell your followers, hey, subscribe to this podcast, y'all. We were desperately trying to meet, not even desperately, just diligently trying to meet this goal. We're gonna meet it. We're
That's
gonna
right.
meet it. But we can't do it without you, so we need y'all help with that. It's 80. We just gotta get to 80, right?
80. That's
And then from
we
there,
got to our first 100
in a
without
week. We did that
blinking.
in a week,
Yeah.
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 You know. So maybe we gotta come up with something. We have a big announcement, and then we'll get there. But yeah. So shout out to Coach Prime, shout out to the Buffs. Go Buffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um and fight on, go Trojans.
I'll see you next
I'm
weekend.
not going for SC. You already know I got love for SC.
I
That's
was
my
just saying.
I'm an honorary Trojan. Um I have impacted quite a few lives in a very specific way.
Hey, these student loans restart in a couple of days for folks. So, you
Yeah.
know.
I need to call them and like, hey, so
So if you
listen,
still paying for an SC education, fight. Or if you paid off your SC education,
listen. And the
fight on.
problem is I owe more than a lot of Trojans for mine. I'm like, I owe what?
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
I saw that monthly that they sent me. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, no, we gonna have to, you know, I can't do income based because
So you don't get any kind of, you're not in the public service, people?
you have to have so many payments. So I've
Oh,
been receiving my education for quite. I just finished grad school a couple of
that's
years
true.
ago, so I
That's
didn't.
true.
As far as years, there's a couple. I think for one of my schools, there's a forgiveness, so I need to apply for that.
Okay.
For U of A.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, University of Arizona will be hearing from me. Like,
Get
hey,
down on it.
you
Get
know.
down on it.
Um, and then we'll talk about the other one for I think the masters too. So I have a friend that had about 80 grand forgiven.
That's
Um,
good.
so she got her slate wiped clean, and then she told me about that. So I have to get with her to get these other ones in like ASAP. But so y'all, to our cover story for the week. Oh, the interwebs have been going up about this, and for the life of me, I don't
I don't know
know.
why.
I think I do. We're gonna talk about it. So Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs um broke up with his girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, who's bad as hell. Yes, she is a beautiful black woman. So Travis Kelce is white. He's a white,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's full white,
Yeah.
right?
Even though he threw his beard on, was trying to give us John B.
Right.
Ish.
I'm saying that because
Yeah.
he got invited to all the cookouts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he's full white, and his girlfriend is black, right? So no one had a problem with the relationship. They was like,
Mm-mm.
oh, okay,
Look at him.
they were like, okay, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Had his
already know
little
how that
beard.
goes.
They was
Right,
with it.
all right, right. They think he looked good. So broke up, and
Mm-hmm.
now he is being linked to Taylor Swift, who was at the last game, and teammates is up there waving at her, and the cameras are panning to her. She's in the box with his parents and jumping up and down, and all this other stuff. And the interwebs does not like it.
Yeah.
They are
Not everybody loved Taylor Swift. She was selling out concerts here, there, and everywhere. Maybe they just like her when she's singing. They didn't want her.
no, they like her when she's not dating the ex-boyfriend of a black woman.
Well, you said
Let's keep it a buck. Yeah, I said it. Let's keep it a buck. And
it.
black women are going in. Like, he is public enemy number one right now. You done left this beautiful black woman for Taylor Swift. Never mind, it's Taylor Swift. It's not
I
like
was about to say, it's Taylor Swift.
we're talking about $750 million Taylor Swift, who is slated to be a billionaire by the end of this tour she's on. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying she's a better woman. I'm just saying, right? So rumor
You
has
could
it
do
though,
worse. Is that what you saying? You could
you
do
can
worse.
do worse than
Hmm.
date a billionaire. That's all
Hmm.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
so we're gonna point out a couple of inconsistencies and lack of same energy here, right? So I think some of the Swifties came out swinging. We're gonna find it, but the yeah, it's like
Going
I
down.
this is what I don't get. Like, y'all, this is a white man who
Hmm.
is now dating a white woman.
Yes.
And y'all he's somehow wrong for this.
Well, they're saying now he's out here looking like,
Oh, he changed his
he
look.
drives with a Confederate flag in the back of his pickup truck.
Well, his new look doesn't
Yeah.
lend itself to not believe that. But like, this is my theory, right? And let me say this, black women, I love y'all. I, I love
Thanks.
y'all. I love y'all.
You must be about to say something
I'm
crazy.
because I'm not about to say something crazy, but I'm gonna just say something y'all don't like. Y'all not gonna like, right?
Okay, here we go.
But it ain't always got to be about y'all. You like this?
No.
Let this man have what he wants, right?
Hmm.
And because the crazy part is when black men have a white woman, it's a problem, right?
Yeah. But I think
She was like, I don't.
it's
She was like, yeah, it's a problem. Now it's But now when one of y'all own a black woman got her this white dude, it's like yeah, y'all feel like all y'all credit score just went up, right? And now,
oh
so I
Lord.
wonder, does it feel like black women ain't winning or something now that because he's with a white woman, and it's I think it's more of what black women uh felt about him as far as like his swag or him being attractive or
That's
something
what
like
I was gonna say. I think when black women cheer for other black women that have wound up with a white man, it's not because they're with a white man. It's because he could potentially be a light skinned black. Like
Nah, it
they're
ain't.
not
Nah,
cheering for
it
white
ain't just.
men.
No, it ain't just.
Oh, I ain't
Like,
never seen it. I ain't
cause
never
you
seen
can
like,
he can
girl,
be
you
so.
went white. You
No,
went
no,
right.
no. If he got mad dough, they be like, yeah, that's right. Cause these broke. Like
Oh, okay. I
whatever
didn't
way they
know.
can find that it's an upgrade, right?
Hmm.
But when you flip the script, you know what I'm saying? So if there was a black woman that's
But
dating
if you
some.
flip the script, when I have seen black women upset publicly about a black man dating a white woman, it's because they feel it's a downgrade. So even though Taylor Swift is a billionaire, I saw some of the comments like they, and I don't know in what world you could consider Taylor Swift a five, especially if she stands on her checkbook. But like those are the kinds of like, oh, you with this average white girl
But
when
go
you were with
ahead.
this beautiful black woman. Now I'm not
And
saying
that's
right or wrong. I'm just telling
right,
you what
right.
was
No, I
out
get
there.
it, but
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's one of the problems that I have with the situation, right?
Okay. Okay.
Because of the fact that the very thing you don't want men to want you for is the thing you are judging this woman for, right?
What do you
Like,
not want?
and no her looks, right?
Oh,
Don't be judging women by their body. We're more than our body. We more than our looks. And one of the only thing that you can say about Taylor Swift is how she looks. You can't say nothing else about it. You can't talk about her
no.
success, her money, no nothing. You can only talk about how she looks. Now, there is no world where Taylor Swift looks better than his ex. I'm sorry. No. This let's to be clear, you know what I'm saying? That woman is beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not calling Taylor Swift ugly. I'm just saying she, even with all her money, is not that
Right.
aesthetically, right?
Right.
There is no money in the world that you are going to be able to pay to go from that to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta edge closer to get that, right? So let's be clear. So wait, put that back up. Black woman should be pissed off. Some of them
That would be.
not. Oh, some of them wouldn't like for a black man to come out hate. Yeah. So absolutely, right? So then, but you got men also being like, oh, talking about Taylor Swift ain't got no ass. Like, why would he leave that for? Like, we
He's
don't know
white
what this man like.
with white. Yeah,
There's hella black men that have women that ain't got no ass. So, you know,
that too.
like maybe this, like y'all, let's try this. Let's try this on for size. I know this is I'm reaching.
Maybe
I'm
they're
reaching.
compatible.
Maybe she makes him happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just because this woman was beautiful don't mean she wasn't a headache. She don't. She doesn't. She don't. Right? We don't know. There's a lot of beautiful headaches, but also rumor has it she broke up with Travis. Right?
Uh-huh.
I guess the word on the street was he's cheap. Like he makes her pay for her own meals or whatever. Like, dude,
Are you
but I,
kidding me?
but I've seen that before though. Like rich dudes will be like, nah, I'm not. Like I'm not tricking on you or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
gosh.
let's just say
Not
that
tricking on you, but like food?
I don't know. That's just the rumor. Allegedly, we don't know what to be
That's
true.
hilarious.
I'm just saying
Like,
that's not
hey,
something
sis.
he's not looking at Taylor Swift and be like, look, I need you to sign this prenup because
No,
I'm
no,
trying
absolutely not.
to right. I
Absolutely
don't I
not.
don't think she wants him for his money. You see what
And
I'm
so
saying?
apparently she bought out a restaurant. Maybe he's looking to be.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's in his soft era.
Yeah. I didn't know how to say it. There you go.
Right, right. He in his soft era.
It's like you
He
just
tried.
won the Super Bowl. What are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm going in
Taylor
my
Swift.
soft area. I'm going with Taylor Swift, right? Look, you can do worse, right?
Yeah,
And I would say this: like, if you're going to date a white woman, you can do worse than a superstar billionaire, right?
that's true.
Could I do it?
Yes, yes, you
I
could.
I would have to. I'm sorry. Okay, so look, listen.
You could. You couldn't. You wouldn't want to, but you could.
What's the
A superstar
what's the,
billionaire.
for what though, right? If it's just about money and she can like listen,
Okay, so Taylor Swift as is. I mean, clearly we
you
don't know anything about her personality, but let's just say she was at least a nice lady. Could you? Would you?
you
Without all,
listen.
I mean, she got enough money to get a little Dr.
Okay, let me
Miami
ask you.
going on back
Let me
there.
let me frame it for you. Let me frame it for you because you
She
already
could
know
get a
where this is
little.
going.
She get some plastic
If I
surgery
told you
done.
right now that I was in a relationship and you told hashtag boo, but like, hey, Barzini got a girlfriend, what is the first thing out of his mouth gonna be?
She got a big booty.
And
That's the, or she
he'll
must got a
say this,
big booty.
right? He'll say it. He won't even stop walking when he say it. Like he'll just,
Nope.
yeah, she must.
She must got a big booty. Yeah.
Listen, I am on record. I am an ass man. I don't. I didn't ask for this. I I was born. It happened. I don't even know who
I
to.
was.
I don't even know who to blame for this. Right?
Mm.
It just
Well, she could
um.
get some. She could get a little something, or get a personal trainer, get her squat game
There
on.
is there is no little something that's ever gonna turn me on. I'm sorry. A little something? No. No. I don't do little something. Right?
Okay. Well.
I'm not a butt man or a booty man. I am an ass man.
Okay.
Like,
Oh.
right? you
Hey.
know, hey, it's just what I am. Talk to God about that one.
Oh. Okay.
But
I'm sure I won't be going to him for that, but
it's like, why do Barzini gotta be ass?
yeah.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So no, I mean, I'm sure like they can do nice things, but he was able to do nice things before that. Now, the caveat to that though is they're like, oh, he gold digging or he with her for the money, blah 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 blah. All right, now we're gonna down him for that. Now, Janet Jackson, who married a very wealthy man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when people was talking about she married him for money, what did the community say? She got her own money. So does Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
right? He's a multi-millionaire himself, right? Is he 750? No. But like, come on, he's not broke. Like he can pretty much live that same life. Pretty much, she can just do it multiple times. Like, there's
That's
only
true.
so much you gonna buy. Like houses, yachts, some businesses. Okay, whatever, right? You can just buy more of them. But maybe they just like each other. Maybe they're not. Neither one of them are spending money on each other. They don't have to. Like, when you have two people that have mad money, what can you buy the person that already has everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to. I don't know what his ex did for a living. I'm not gonna call her broke. I don't know.
I think she's like a life coach.
Okay.
She's definitely like an influencer type, but I think she's like somewhere in the coaching field that I
Okay.
read.
Right.
So
Okay.
if I'm
So
not
cool.
right, somebody put it in the chat or in the
Mhm.
comments. But I think that's.
Well, I
But
venture
she
to
don't have. She's not a millionaire.
right.
I
I
do know
venture to
that much.
say, and I believe I can safely say, she's not a multimillionaire,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
And so, but we don't look at her. We've never said she's only dating Travis for money, right? We were like, hey, girl, like, you got you one, got the bag, boom, 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 white dude, swaggy, all this other stuff, right? But if this was Jason Kelce, we wouldn't have anything to say. Oh, she can have him, right? Jason
Mm.
Kelce is his brother
His brother.
who
Mm-hmm.
plays for, right? He ain't the tight end, he plays center, and looks more like a
Mm-hmm.
lumberjack type, right? And so I really think when black women get upset, and black men too, when we talk about our side of things, we don't talk about people who are undesirable, right? Even when they talk about black men who date white women, they are not
Mm-hmm.
talking about the men they don't want. We're only really they talk about successful black men go get white women. And but
Right.
what percentage of that is there? What about the ordinary dude? We don't talk about oh yeah, y'all can have him. He's just an ordinary guy,
These
We
are
don't,
so ordinary
you
people.
know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like there's somebody out there for you. And whether my question would be this for those who are truly upset. I know some of it is just it's entertainment for some folks. I get it. But my question is this: whether Travis Kelce stayed with his ex or dates Taylor Swift, how does that change what you got to do today?
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
Like, and maybe it's people's hope for that type of relationship, or people are responding to what they would otherwise want for themselves, right?
Mm.
Um, so then that question would be, if you met Travis Kelce, would he date you?
Maybe not. Especially if he looking for Taylor Swift, he ain't gonna find that. No, no.
Right, but you got this dude, like, so on some level I get it, as far as like the black man, black woman argument, like black women want access to successful black men, right? Especially
Right.
with the increase of successful black women, educated business owners and all this other stuff. I get it, right? You want someone who is your equivalent, uh, or at least a pool to choose from of equivalents, right?
Right.
I
Right.
get it. Okay, cool. But this is the second time I've seen black women upset with white men, right? Or a white man, I'll say, for desiring his own.
Mm.
And I just, like, y'all, he's white, she's white, and he clearly doesn't discriminate. I think black women felt better when they thought he dated black women exclusively.
Mm-hmm. That could have been
Because
it.
it's like, hey, we're the desirable group for this successful man that they find attractive, right? But
I think it's some of that. And then, like I said, because now his look has changed, I've
Mhm.
seen some of the comments be like, oh, maybe black women were this fetish versus like who he was really attracted to or
Mhm.
wanted to actually have a future with. So it could be some of that, but it could also be a feeling of I mean, and it's weird that people project their own feelings onto folks like that don't
Right.
know you and don't care about you. But I think it's a little of that, like, oh, I feel like we've been bamboozled, or
Mhm.
that we were not as desirable or loved by this man, if you
Mhm.
will, because obviously he
Right.
likes this,
Mhm.
or his look now makes us think that he's into a whole different type of lifestyle, not even
Mhm.
just his attraction, but then now I'm looking at you like you're
Mhm.
giving us other type vibes,
Right.
so.
But I will say this because sometimes it gets real disheartening to somebody, like myself, right? Because you hear this all the time. Oh, black men don't want us. Black men, blah blah blah. Like, yes, we do. But so many of us are overlooked because we're not the football player, or we're not the
Mhm.
the Fortune 500 CEO, or we're not the famous artist or whatever. We're not high profile, or what I'm saying, seven-figure dude, right? Like
Right.
there's and Tyler Perry was talking about this like too. It's like when you let's say this, if money didn't exist or money wasn't such a factor, there would be a lot more people in happy relationships. But I
Mm.
think the value we put on that, and I'm not saying money is not important, right? But money is but a tool for our sustainability. I'm stuttering now. For our sustainability, it's a tool, right? But how many times have we seen men with money but they lack everything else? Just like you'll see this beautiful woman, like we don't know who this woman is, but she could be just beautiful for all we know,
That's true.
right? I've seen some beautiful airheads. I've seen
Ah.
some beautiful shrews, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just because she looked good doesn't mean she was a good woman. Just because this dude got money or he's handsome doesn't mean he's a good man, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but you got this average Joe, and I'm not saying go get some ugly dude or somebody you're not attracted to or whatever, or somebody you got to struggle with, but like, and it's not about settling, right? It's about changing the metric.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? When you adjust the metric, and I don't know if I've told this story, but I was reading this book, the subtle art of not giving a F.
Oh yeah.
And right, I mentioned the book before, but there
Yeah.
was a story about and I might get the story wrong, but there was a guy who was a guitar player in a band, right? And they were doing pretty well, and they were about to sign a record deal. And I think the night before or something like that, they were about to sign a deal. They woke him up and told him he's out of the band. They kicked him out of the band, right? And then he was mad and vengeful. He's like, I'm gonna start my own band, and we're gonna be the biggest band ever, and we're gonna make millions of dollars, and I'm gonna be a household name. And he did that, right? He
Mm.
started his own band, rock metal band, and they were huge, and he made millions of dollars, and he went on tour, and everything else. Um, the problem was the band that he got kicked out of became a bigger band, right? The band he started was, I think, Megadeth, and then the band he got kicked out of was Metallica. So,
Mhm.
right? But the thing is, he was depressed, and he did interviews, and he was crying, right? Because he was like, people are like, you're a millionaire, you've had this great career, like, why are you crying? He's like, because they, I wasn't part of Metallica. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So he couldn't even enjoy his own success based on the metric that he set, right?
Yeah.
Another drummer was in another band, and he was replaced because he was too pretty. He looked better than the other members of the band, right? And so he was kicked out of the band,
What a burden to bear.
right? And he was replaced by a guy named Ringo Starr,
Oh shoot.
right? And so this band, of course, for those who don't know Ringo,
Oh.
they became the Beatles, right? Um,
I'd have
and
put a
so,
paper bag over my head, like I'll
but
just.
no, yeah, but no, but check it out. He didn't. He did an
Mhm.
interview and said that he is much happier now than he ever would have been had he stayed in the Beatles, right? No, he's
Mm.
not a mega star. He's married, he has a family, he still plays music and travels, but he's not the Beatles, right? He was like, look at all the
Mhm.
personal problems they had,
Mhm.
right? And he was like, I'm happy. And it was about his metric. He changed his metric for what happiness meant to him, right?
Right.
It wasn't the fame and fortune. It was my family, my children, my wife. This is what makes me happy, right? And so we're on this path, right? Of we say we look for love, but we judge love or who we love by their money, you
Yeah.
know. And so when you change your metric of what you value and what matters, then you can have greater success in getting what you need, right? There, ladies, there are great men who don't make, you know, the 6 and 7 figures. There's great men who don't make what you make, right? Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with like, listen, just be stable. I don't want to have to take care of you. I get that, right? But let's just say you get with the 6 figure dude, you know, or the 7 figure dude, and he hits hard times, right? Then what? And now, do you break up with him because now he's struggling and you're not? When he's not carrying the weight, is he still worth it or no? Are you gonna ride with him? So it's like, why can't you ride with the dude in the beginning? And then we have this thing where we talk about, oh, if you get somebody made, then how do you take credit for it, right? If we're always saying it, because if you listen to Steve Harvey, oh, a man don't never reach his full potential until he got a woman in his life, and a man can't never be this without a woman, right? So then why are we always looking for the made dude? Maybe he's not made yet because you're not there. If we believe that, right?
I guess I'm still like, and I don't know, ladies, help me out. I don't know if you're here tonight because the numbers
Yeah,
suggest you
y'all.
might not
Yeah.
be.
Hmm.
But maybe when you watch this a little later, who are these women? Like I think I have such a huge problem because I continue to hear about this. But what
Hmm.
I feel like is that you all are men. I don't want to say you all.
Just you're
There
gonna
are a lot of
qualify.
men who are lusting after and are attracted to these unattainable women because they want you to be at a certain status, so on and so forth. Like, I don't see men going after average women, average looking women, but you want women to go after average paid men. And I'm just like, everybody needs to date where they are, and you might need a reality check about where you are. Like, I continue to hear like, oh, we want 6 and 7 figures. I'm like, I don't ever remember having those kind of conversations with my girlfriends. Like, if you meet a man that's a millionaire, there's no way you're gonna be like, child, I don't want that. I'm not saying that, but I'm also like, I don't know women who are making a huge deal out of how much a man makes or demanding that he makes a certain amount. I have heard I want him to be able to take care of himself. I have heard I don't want to take care of him, but I don't know that I've heard like he's got to be like balling, at this staggering amount, except if she's an Instagram model, or except if she always got her butt to the doggone camera every time we're scrolling through her photos. So that's what I see.
Well,
I'm
this is
not
what
gonna
you
let all the
so
women.
so
I'm
two
not gonna
things.
let all the women be taken through the
So
ringer
so
about
two
stuff.
things. No. Here, so two things. What makes a beautiful woman unattainable? When you say unattainable, we go for these unattainable women. What makes her unattainable?
I mean, she may be unattainable to the person that
But what
has the
but
desire.
right, but you so
Unattainable means she don't want you back.
right. Well, but that doesn't mean she has to be beautiful. You got ugly women that you can't get because she don't want you back,
Okay,
right?
well, you can take her beauty out of. I'm talking because we're normally talking about money for men, and you're
And
talking about
you
looks
right,
for women. So
right.
that's why I
So
said that. So
no,
you
no,
want the women that are here on the beauty scale. They want the men that are here on the money scale.
so but you see that so how but the thing is the more beautiful I am, the more money you have to have. And my question is why, right? Because to me,
I don't
I'm not
know
gonna
because that's not
yeah,
me.
right. But so second thing is we often say I don't see that. That's because your experience is different, right? I see it all the time because of my experience. And so what we
Absolutely.
do, and
I'm
what we
not saying
do,
that it didn't
no, 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 no,
happen. I
no,
just
no,
said I
no,
don't see
right.
it.
I'm just saying, but there is a go-to, like, well, who are these women? Like, we date women, so our experience and our interactions
Well, I would like for
are
them to be in the chat so we can talk to them. I
right.
would
Just
like for them to come onto the show. I don't
but
like
you
even all the
don't
women that we have interviewed or spoken to. I mean, hit me in the private chat. Tell me
right.
who are these women.
Right, but let me just let me say this. Let me say this. It is not uncommon, right? We hear it all the time. And the thing is, if you keep hearing men say this, at some point we have to say, right? So hold
So when you're dating someone, their expectation of you is to make seven figures to be able to date them.
on. This is what we're
I
gonna
mean,
do. Listen. What
I'm
I'm talking about, listen,
saying,
listen. You have some women that is the expectation. You have some that are six. You have some, oh, he got to make as much as me or more, right? But what I'm saying is not always, there's often a monetary expectation that is tied to men, right? And so when we talk
that
about
is
that,
more than what I said. It's more than you are able to take care of yourself, as in you have your own place,
yes,
you have
it's
your
more than
own
that.
job, you have
You
okay.
no, not only that, you got to take care of me too. I want to be, and now we in the soft era and da 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 da, right? All of this other stuff. Like there, a lot of times, even when you hear soft era, a lot of those women, not all, a lot of those women want a dude to facilitate it, right? And to facilitate a life, you are not facilitating for yourself oftentimes. You see? Now, here's the thing also. It's like, okay, you got this group of women, I want him to facilitate this life for me. Then there's a group like, this is the life I already lead. Then you don't need him to do that. So why he got to come and do it for you now if you already doing it? We can just do this together, right? And I'm not saying that the men don't have certain desires and blah 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 blah. We just wasn't talking about them right now. But what we tend to do and what we have to stop doing on either side is, and you see it on social media, when we say something on both sides, women will be like, oh, that must be the women you date, and dudes, I don't know what kind of men you. Of course it's the women I date. I haven't dated all women. It has to be the ones that I've
Well, when
experienced.
you say women, you don't say the women I date. When you when
No,
when
because
you say
it's
when
the women.
you're speaking to women and you're admonishing women and
I'm
you're
not
directing
admonishing.
women.
I'm not
And
admonishing anybody. It's all the. I'm not speaking about me personally. When we say that to anybody, of course, it's the women anybody has dated or the men anybody has dated. No one has dated all of either gender. So your experience is, yes, limited to the one that you dated. But when you have so many people saying the same thing on either side, right? Also, when we say men or women, I I have no problem with people generalizing, right? Because we do this thing where, oh, we'll say some or say most, or for what? Because we're trying to deflect when we do that. We're all intelligent people and we know nothing is absolute and it never means all, right? We know that it's not all of anything. We're talking about women though. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to stop doing this thing. And I'm not saying you, but like qualifying it as to not offend, because those same people will try to hit you with a statistic, and statistics is literally the science of generalizing, right? There is no stat that's inclusive of all. It's based on a sample size and they make an assumption based on that sample size. But we don't say in a statistics class, well, y'all got to stop generalizing. You know what I mean? And so the thing is, we two things can be true. Just because women do this doesn't mean we're saying that men don't do this, and vice versa. It's, women, just because men have had this experience, we're not saying women don't have this experience that they say. We're both having this experience. We are absolutely seeing women that say this and say it often, just like you see men as, oh, she got to have shit. I just said it a second ago. I'm an ass man, right? Like, we want what we want and everything else, but there are certain things that your preferences, and sometimes preferences is it preferences or delusions, you feel me? Like
I
certain
feel like
things
them
are
delusions. I feel like that often when I hear these uh when men are sharing their experiences, it feels like, I want to change this group of women that I'm attracted to, that I'm not getting whatever I want from. I want them to change. It's
absolutely
clear, right? And so That's delusional. That is delusional.
Right. And no, and here's the thing. We all do that. And I think I've said this before. We want to, and it's not even just this group of women, like we want all men and all women to think the way and behave in a way that we want them to, so that we can choose from this vast pool to make the process easier to get to the one that we want, or the ones, or whatever, right? And so men are like, if all women think like this, then my path is easier. And women think if all men would just be like this and do this, and this is why we put these templates on one another. Well, men are supposed to, he's supposed to be the pursuer, he's supposed to pay, he's supposed to be like,
and just go find you a man that does all those things, but all men don't have to be that way.
Exactly. And on the other side, but that's the part we come up with these things, and we do these things and come up with this argument to avoid the effort and the process that you got to go through to get to your person, right? So so look at the things we say. Oh, it's pee in the dating pool, right? And the person that's saying it got a blue cloud around them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people are the pee they talking about in the dating pool. You feel me? And so, but think of this: how logical is it that we're saying I'm single because there is something wrong with an entire gender, right? It's not me. It's literally all of you.
Yeah, man.
Right.
That's gold right there.
And if only you all change, then I can have somebody. This is how we think, right? Oh, these women, but all these men, like, listen.
It's delusion.
A lot of it is, but it's, you know, it's, if you change your metric, right, of what is good, you see what I'm saying? Physical standards are always easier than monetary ones. I will say that. You know what I mean? Like, it's much easier to find somebody who look good than it is to find somebody who's rich, because they're just fewer, right? But we have our physical standards. But the same way women want a man that's stable, so do we. But our threshold for stable is a little bit lower, right? Because it's like we're more willing to pay for somebody that we're attracted to, just like a more attractive woman is willing to adjust her physical standards for somebody who's got more money, right? Like, it's that sliding scale, you know. And men tend to look better and taller standing on their wallet. I'm like, keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? She'll be like, I mean, he's like take a really nice guy who don't look all that great, but she like,
not this way. if I squint.
Right, but he got that back.
Turn my head.
Yeah, in women's defense, there are some dudes with money that are just too ugly for them to date. Like, they're like, I can't do it, right? But yeah, I think we all do it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But we have to stop invalidating each other and each other's experience because it's not something that we want to hear. Well, women do this, you know. Well, men, like, we can have one conversation, because it doesn't mean, and that's something I learned a long time ago. Just because somebody has an experience, they're not saying you didn't. Or when someone is sharing their experience, you don't have to invalidate their experience because you had a different experience, you know. So all of a sudden, because what we like to do is make somebody's experience their fault. And that's typically what we do. Well, what kind of women are you dating then?
It's a valid question. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's your fault, but it is a valid question. If I'm sitting here with you and we're having a conversation and you're talking about all the things that are going on that are unfavorable, I don't think it's, you know, invalidating your experience to say,
but it is.
What type of women are? No, invalidating your experience is that, you know, that's crazy.
But what
didn't happen.
When we ask that question, what are we saying? What are we really
I'm trying to
saying?
find a commonality. Is it the type of women that you're dating that you're having this experience? I'm not saying it's you.
But that's
You
what
is are you
that's
sure
what it
you
alludes to.
experienced that?
So,
Are you sure that this is
but
what
here's
that's more about you? But
but
me
this is
trying to
how
find
this is
out,
how it's invalidating is because they're inserting themselves by saying, "Oh, well, what kind of women?" Because they don't like. I'm talking about the. I'm clearly talking about this type of woman. I just said it, right? So, or this type of man. When she says that, we're taking the
no,
focus
it
of
sounds
what's
like
being said.
every woman that I've dated or all women that I'm encountering are acting this way. And so
That
to
could be
ask a
true.
clarify and so to ask a clarifying question is to invalidate your
Right. What
experience.
so when you say what kind of women are you dating, the ones that I just told you of, I just told you what kind of women. Like that's what I
Yeah,
said.
well, no, not just that type. Though, yes, that, but
Mhm.
also, are they young women? Are they black women? Are they tall women? Are they unemployed women? Like, we're trying to get more information other than the thing that you are highlighting about them as a fault. I'm also trying to figure out, any kind of characteristics about them again, because at the end of the day, yeah, if it is a certain type of woman that is exhibiting this behavior, and this is the type of woman that you are continuing to date or deal with, you might continue to run into this particular
But you
issue.
don't
Now, if
know
you
that
say
until you
they
dealt with
all
them.
are the same way, if you're
Well, here's
saying
the
like
thing.
everybody is
So,
like
but
that,
but
doesn't
here's the
matter.
thing. What's wrong with saying, "Damn, that's crazy. That's really messed up that these women are acting like that."
There's
That's
nothing
an
wrong with
option.
saying that.
So, but
There's
we
nothing
don't
wrong with
say
saying
that.
that.
We don't say that. It's like
But you
instead of
can't control how people respond to
no,
information that you
right,
give them.
but also that, and that's why I'm saying invalidating.
And
So I'm
how did we
saying,
get to us? I mean, and maybe you're not talking about it to get to a solution. So I'm hearing it not to invalidate and say this doesn't happen. It's for me to go, how can we get you to the type of women that you absolutely want or that are exhibiting what
or
you want? Or
or
maybe
just
it's not that. Maybe
just
it's just,
listen, or just listen, right? Because here's the thing, I'm saying I'm having this experience, right? And so when we
and you
do
also
that,
said, and women, you shouldn't blah, 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 blah.
right,
So if you're telling
but
women what
hold
they
on,
shouldn't do,
listen, just listen. What I'm saying is this: this is what we do, and we do it on both sides. Somebody is having an experience, right? That's their experience. And when we ask that question, typically we're alluding to you. It must be you. You're doing something wrong. And that might be true. But if I'm sharing that in a moment, like let's just be in this moment, right? So if you're like, okay, say this, if a woman is talking about every dude that I've dated has cheated on me,
mhm.
I somehow be like, well, I mean, what kind of dudes is you dating? Or you, like, that's going to be a real messed up feeling because now what I'm essentially saying is it could be your fault. You getting cheated on by all these dudes.
And you know what? It could be. Let's put on the big girl and the big boy draws. It might be.
It
It might
could,
be your
it,
fault that,
it could
that
be.
you continue to date the same
But
type
if
of
that's
dude
not,
that's
yeah,
cheating on you.
right. But if we're not having that conversation, right? Like, let's take my evolution. Now you know there was a time where I wouldn't give a damn. I just give you what I think about whatever, right? Now I'm gonna read the room. If you ask me what I really think, okay, cool. But also, let me just hear because we just had this conversation the other night where somebody was like, "Hey, blah 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 blah," something that really didn't need to be said, right? And so sometimes it's about a feeling and an experience that somebody's had because also what we have to consider is what we see in someone is largely based on the experiences that we've had before and we're more keen to it, right? So if you're somebody who's been cheated on before, what are the things you're more keen to? Certain patterns of behavior that are similar to the one that you got cheated on, right? Or if you encountered somebody that was dating you for meals, right? You was the meal guy or the food guy, and then you found out. And now when you looking at women, you like, okay, how's she moving? Is she doing things similar to the one that did me wrong and hurt me? It's our reticular. It's the equivalent of I decided to buy a Honda Accord, and what do we see all the time? Honda Accords. So that's what I'm talking
Mhm.
about. Our experience
that thing may not be that thing, but we keep experiencing it because this is what we're keen to and we're focused on. You can't control that, right? You see what you see. Just like for me, if I see, if I see anything remotely resembling my ex or like my stepmom, I'm out, right? And they take a lot of therapy to kind of like, okay, this may not be that. So when we ask that question, we start to discount people's experience. When we say, well, it could be your fault, it may not be that, but it could be, this is what I see because this is what my experience has taught me. You know what I mean? And we would be dumb to ignore our experience, because if something looked like something, it could really be something. So what do we say? Don't ignore red flags. So if we keep seeing this, now there could be more to that person, but maybe we didn't get time to that more because that thing popped up first, which it typically does when that's our experience. So what I'm saying is there's so many more layers in our default, and I'm guilty of it too. You know what I'm saying? I've done it before. When we go to the default, oh, it's something wrong with you. You the common denominator. Yes, everyone is their own common denominator with everyone they've ever dated. And unless you are currently married, if marriage was your goal or in a relationship, if you are single and you want to be in a relationship, that means all of your relationships have failed and you are the common denominator in that. Does that mean they were all your fault? No. Just because you're the common denominator doesn't mean it's your fault. Because guess what? The person that you were with is also the common denominator in all their relationships. It just happens. So we use these little anecdotes and cliches to try to place blame and also to avoid accountability because we're subconsciously inserting ourselves into their experience. So if you're saying men blah 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 blah, and I'm going, no, they don't, because da, 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 da. What I'm essentially doing is inserting myself because you're saying me, you're saying Barzini, right? When you're not. So, but if I remove myself, I know it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? And hear you and connect to your experience, then I might be able to experience that differently. So we get that question is usually, even if subconsciously, from a defensive posture. Well, what kind of men? That must be the men you date, because all the men I know, right? Like this is what we do. And I was
like I said, I mean, the ball is now, the target's moving a little bit because now I feel like, oh, if you're talking to a friend, it would be different from just seeing somebody on a podcast or seeing somebody on social media. No, I'm not reading the room and what your experience. I don't even know you. So if I see this kind of stuff, I'm making a general.
like, I don't even know you.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, you must really be. Oh, let me consider his experience. Like, no, I'm in a quick scroll. It's just like, so that's where I was coming from. Like all the stuff that flies out on social media. No, I'm not having a tender moment of consideration versus if I'm talking to you or if I'm talking to, my nephew or something like that, then we would probably have a different conversation. But at the end of the day, like it is about you. It is about me. It's my decision of the person that I'm going to spend my time with or give my attention to. If I do start to see things that resemble something else and I decide to press in anyway, it sucks. I've said it on this podcast before. It sucks to realize that you are the person that have wounded yourself or given somebody else the weapon to wound you because you wouldn't get your, out the way. So, I stand on that. I'm not trying to poop on nobody's, experience or invalidate anybody's experience. Me asking that question is because, again, this is the premier statement. And I'm trying to figure out where is the gap between what is going on with the men that are saying they're experiencing this. And now, unless the women that I know and the women that are posting on social media are never meeting these men, maybe there is no mixing and mingling, or somebody's lying. Like it just is what it is. The women are lying.
The gap is the metric. I don't think either men or women are lying, right? Because when women are talking about what men do, how often is it congruent and in the same thing? So everybody can't be lying, right? If we're saying the same thing.
I hope not.
Right. And then and the same with men. The gap is the metric, right? we've created these templates and expectations of people of what they gotta have. You see what I'm saying? And then we want to call it love, right? I'm only gonna fall in love with somebody that is blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
And I
And you
think
wind up missing out when you do that. And I
right
think
because we think
Jazz said that earlier.
yeah, we think this is what love is or happiness is or yada yada yada, whatever. Right now, again, yes, we have preferences. Cool, if you got them, you got them. But you got to ask yourself, how's that working for you? You know,
Yeah.
if your metric is not working, you know, it's like any business. You got to change. You know, it's some organizational changes that have to be made, some environmental changes, and everything else. So you got to look at that. And so I don't know. It's I just think what we value and what we seek, we are often not the thing that we seek, right? We want this thing when we are not that.
Mm-hmm.
So you know this 6 and 7 figures. Okay, do you make 6 and 7 figures? And if you
Well,
do
if you
make
made 6 and 7 figures, you likely wouldn't necessarily make that a requirement. Would you?
yeah,
I
I
said
don't
wouldn't
know. Like,
necessarily, not that you wouldn't, but
yeah, I
necessarily. If
don't.
you
Yeah.
already had that, why would you
Well, I would
require it?
say
It'd be
this.
nice.
I would hold my head to the side less if, like, I would say this to the women that's making 6 and 7 figures, and there's more today, especially with Black women, more today than before. It's like it's okay to date a dude that doesn't, right?
Mhm.
I understand it more if you don't, right? I'm not saying I fully understand, but I understand it more because you it's I don't want somebody to bring my value down or maybe not understand this and the third. I don't know. There's a whole lot that goes into it where you want somebody equally yoked. You know, I don't think that's the only thing that matters, but it's like okay, it's more logical. I'll say right to want somebody to be close to what you're doing or in the same stratosphere. But you you got these people like our very good friend that we know that will remain nameless right now, who's got some crazy expectations of women and says some very inflammatory things and is not near what he expects.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like not even close to what he expects. And it's comical to me often. So it's
But
those
is that invalidating, his feelings and his desires? Like, should we just go, okay? Which
that's
is generally what I do.
That's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do. That a lot. Sometimes
Okay.
you see, my responses get a lot shorter. I might be like, but okay. I'll
Yeah,
just be
no,
like, yeah,
that's what I do to
you know.
everybody, really.
But
I mean, I'm
also,
engaging in this conversation because this is what we're supposed to do.
Right.
But on a regular day,
but
I
also
got
he's
mine and
very
he got me, and
yeah,
I don't care about
right.
all. I don't think about none of this stuff. But even when I was dating, I was just like, the hardest thing for me wasn't that. Like, it wasn't trying to find somebody that made a certain amount, And so, yes, I'm inserting my experience there because I'm like trying to think like, oh my gosh, have I ever done this to somebody? And I'm like, okay, no, these conversations never even came up. Like, I mean, the type of men that I dated, we generally had the same, we're in the same circles, the same educational background. So it wasn't, and until now, where things are harder in the professional field, right? Like it's harder to find a job and move up the career path. And some people who are, supremely educated can't even get past, an interview. So we didn't have those kind of problems back then.
We was all broke back then. That's why.
No, but even once folks got out of the unemployed or the temping and the call centers and got into career, like they were in it and have since kind of grown on their career path. Like I've never been in a dating circle or even a friend circle where the majority of people are in struggle. I don't want to call them kids, but the younger folks now, that's all they know. Like everybody is struggling, or it seems to be. Maybe more of the men are struggling in terms of being able to provide this kind of lifestyle. And because the women are also, some of them are also struggling. And they're looking to the men, I'm assuming, looking to the men to do what their dads did and what their uncles, but like the time is different.
Mm-hmm.
The timing is different. You know, inflation's through the roof. Even the people that have been doing well, you know, and I'm talking about like, you know, middle class, not like, you know, making a super amount of money, but you have what you need and you have a little extra. Even those folks are feeling it now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's just a
And
crazy time.
right, and that's a lot of pressure that men have, whether warranted or not, because you hear it so much that men are supposed to do this and pay for this and blah 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 blah, that the women who don't expect that, it gets projected onto them as well, right?
Okay, I received that.
So it's like, you, even if a woman that is, she's out here and she taking trips and she doing this, there's so many that when you date now, you're expecting him to be able to do what you do, but also facilitate what you already do. Like now you got to pay for his trip and your trip because he's the guy, instead of we teaming up, you know. And so there are some women that it's like, no, we can go half, and I just want somebody that's able to travel.
To go,
But in our head, because of what we see and we hear so often, right? Social media and all this other stuff, we assume this is her expectation, right? And so that also happens. So you got the ones that's blatantly saying it, like boom, 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 and then you have those that's assumed. Now, here is the downfall of being beautiful, right, for women, is because a lot of those women that do have those expectations or these outlandish whatever are in a certain beauty sphere. I'm just making up words, right? They have a certain look, right? And so when you look like they look, even though you're not her, we assume what? You're her. Oh, she looked like da 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 da, and she never said that, right?
Right.
And so there is that part, but it's just so much, you know.
It is so
And
much.
at the end, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like, we create these templates and these expectations and these assumptions and stuff like that, instead of really getting to look at people, right? And I'm not saying y'all don't. I'm not saying, you know, go and date somebody ugly because they're a good person. Like, yeah, there are certain basics that you gotta, you know, like, dude, she may not be the IG model, you know, but are you attracted to her? You know,
Yeah, no, that is important.
like,
Absolutely.
like, are you attracted? Are y'all, you know, like, are you drawn to her enough? I have to be physically attracted. I'm never gonna look at an ugly woman and be like, but I bet she's so nurturing and sweet and supportive. It don't, you know, we still got to go to bed, you know, and I got to respond to you, and I don't respond to supportive physically. I respond to supportive emotionally. I need to respond to you physically as well, you know. And I know women are the same way. So it's when you adjust your metric, right, to what truly matters. Stop letting the bullshit matter so much, right? And look what you have. Look what you have access to. Don't be afraid to build with somebody, right? So, ladies, like, I know if men truly find their value in you, then help build that man. Then why are we scared to do the thing that we say women do? Right? If he is not at his best without you, then go do your job, right? Am I being unfair?
I didn't say that. Steve Harvey
No,
said that. So,
I know he did, but what I'm saying,
like,
but what I'm saying is, it gets so many like, yep. But the part that he leaves out is, now, okay, now go build them then. We don't want that, right? Dudes, we don't want the woman that went from the ugly duckling in middle school and then she grew up and, you know, you weren't dating her until she was bomb. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we want everything already made, and we live in this age where we don't want to build, and we don't know true partnership, right? The ups and downs of it. Or fellas, when you might get, let's say you do get that IG model looking chick, okay, but when she get to the crib and she take off them lashes, she take off that makeup, and she take off that wig, and yada yada yada, what she look like when she wake up, right? Is it only that when she, listen, let's keep it a buck.
That you saying something right there. You
Like how,
saying something.
right? If you can't only be attracted to the filters and the and which, like, what does she look
Cause
like
y'all got my
every
bare
day?
face today. Am I cute with
You
my bare
cute, you
face?
cute. I told you that before. We was like, oh, you
Cause
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I don't have no lashes. I don't have no. I put a little gloss on for y'all, but I ain't even do
Yeah,
no
yeah,
face today.
right.
So y'all,
So
this what I look like in the daylight,
yeah,
in
face
the
card,
light of day.
face
That's what
card,
I'm.
because you remember back in school, like when we at the party, Margarita Jones, when the lights come, you don't get the
Oh
number till
yeah,
the
you be
lights come on.
scaring. Yeah.
Don't listen. You always get the number after the club when the lights come on. You see what I'm saying? Like, how does she look when she done sweat her hair out, bro?
Right.
You feel
Right.
me? Are you
Yeah.
still? Do you still feel the same way you did when you see her like that as you did when you first saw her, or is it only like y'all got to stop falling in love with these profile pics? you know,
Man.
go to the photos of section. You really want to see her?
Oh
Go to the
yeah.
uncurated pics.
What her friends post, huh?
You see what I'm saying? When she
What the
holding the
homies
chicken wing,
do.
like when she didn't get to go through and like, oh, now take that down. Like, come on, y'all.
Oh,
You
that's
feel me?
funny.
So, and ladies, like, nah, he may not be the 6 7 figure dude now. You see what I'm saying? But does he have a dream, and does he have a plan? Ask him what he's doing. Can he show it to you? Is it mapped out? You know, I'm not, everybody got a dream, but does he have a plan for that dream? And do you, when he shares what he wants to do or what he's doing, can you see it? Right? Can you, like, okay, I see that. Then see how he's moving in his everyday life. Is he working towards that? Right? Is he
Hmm.
making moves now? Like, where is he in that process? He could be at the very beginning, but does he have that plan now? Do you see the, when he shows you his plan, do you see areas where you can help? Do you have an area of expertise that might bolster this plan? Like, that's the building part, right? And are you willing to do it, even at the expense of y'all may not make it? Like, are you okay? You see what I'm saying? Because we get scared. We also get scared. We hear this all the time, especially from women. Oh, I ain't trying to build no man for him to leave me for the next one. You don't
Hmm.
control that.
Nope.
All you can control is how you take care of home and what you do. And don't do it because, just because you're trying to keep him or keep him from going to another woman. Do it because that's who you are. And when you do things because that's who you are, it can't wear off.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? On both sides of that. So, you know, I don't know how we got out of here. We're here from Travis, but we went back to early season one on this one.
Yeah. This was an extended episode of the
Yeah,
Crossroads,
yeah,
the
yeah.
winding crossroads.
Oh, look, I prefaced it, Bill, by y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say. I said that part.
Yeah, it's just the winding crossroads. But God bless. Hopefully, somebody got what they needed. To hear uh, the
And
experiences, especially
Jazz,
for
I ain't
women
showing you
to
the
hear
pic.
from men.
Mhm.
Yeah, and go ahead and put your thoughts in the comments. We absolutely come back after the lives and look through the comments and respond to them. So anything that you agreed with, we want to know. If you disagree, it's okay. We want to know that as well.
We know y'all
'Cause
disagree
that's
with
why we're
Bar.
here.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
why we're
y'all,
here.
y'all make sure, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please copy the link to this, post it on your page. Please share it with your friends. We definitely want to hit this goal, that we are that we're trying to hit, so that we can monetize this page. You know what I mean?
And we're very close. We are very, very close. We're under a like 79
yeah.
followers to go, right? Like that is light work. So we
Yeah.
know that those of you who are already subscribed will help us by telling at least 2 people before the next live. Like we want to see a jump in that,
Yeah.
that you've helped us with that. And we appreciate you so much.
We do love y'all and appreciate y'all for rocking with us. So, y'all, this has been another episode of the Crossroads. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us all this time, especially our day ones. And we want to pick up some year threes, right? It don't matter when you start on the journey with us. Yeah, it don't matter when you start as long as you rock with us. And we have so far to go. There's so many things we want to do, and we're excited of what's to come. And y'all can see some more spirited conversations. And y'all, this is what me and Dre have been doing for years. You know, we're just giving y'all an inside look to the conversations that we have. But I also want to encourage you. These debates happen all over social media and parties all over the place. But can you have these conversations from a place of love, right? Because I've seen so many of these conversations go left, and people are like, y'all,
Yeah,
it's
because they do get personal, right?
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and to your point of like people inserting themselves as if they hear like you did this to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yeah, that it goes a little far,
Yeah.
in
So
that regard.
yeah. So like y'all, we all just want to be happy, and we should want the people that we're speaking to also be happy. And so like validate each other. We know what happens. Speak from a place of love as much as possible. You know, we know those
Mhm.
delusional and stupid people out there. There's some people we can look at and be like, we know why you single because you crazy as
I know
hell.
that ain't right. That ain't
Like
right.
I know it ain't right, but I love them anyway. But we know if you like, bro. So with
And
that,
sis,
y'all, yeah,
it ain't just bro, and
yeah,
sis.
yeah. Look, so
And no, I'm not introducing you to anybody I know. Like
and
that's
they
my
always want
friend.
you. Won't hook me up with y'all. No.
Nah, nah, nah. Ain't gonna be able to do it. Ain't gonna be able to do it.
I ain't even gonna be able to do it. All my
Mm-mm.
all my bros is married, which is true. Which is true.
Which is also true on this
You know,
side. Thank
like so,
God.
like yeah, you know, they with their wives or you know, but yeah, yeah. So y'all, until next week, we love y'all and always remember.
Be free to be you.
We'll see y'all.
We'll see y'all next week. Bye.